千里之行，始于足下. A journey of 1,000 miles begins beneath the feet. We now gather in the Tao to travel the journey together. Welcome to Tao Talks with Derek Lin, where we take a deep dive into the Daodejing by Lao Zi. I would like to invite you to center your thoughts and direct your attention to this moment in time, to the here and now. To be fully present and mindfully aware as we all ready ourselves for this sacred process of the Tao. So in our recap, we talked about conservation leading to summiting early. Remember, it just means, hey, don't be wasting any time. Conserve your resources. Your life is limited, so don't waste any of it. Get on the path of the Tao as early as you possibly can. That leads to accumulating virtues, what we were just talking about, extremely powerful, can do anything, overcome any limits. And that's the stage number 4 that you see there. And then the stage number 5. Stage number 4 is when you overcome whatever obstacles may be out there. And stage number 5 is when you suddenly realize that your previously held beliefs about limitations, they actually disappear. You actually realize that, well, wait a minute, there's nothing to stop me from accomplishing something that I've always wanted to do, something that I've been wanting to do ever since I was little. Then all of that means you possess spiritual sovereignty. You call the shots. You set your own direction. So this is what I mean, everybody, when I say that when you're just reading a translation of this chapter, it's gonna seem cryptic. But when it is explained properly, nothing else makes more sense. This makes all the sense in the world. It is so clear. It is so incredibly clear what Lao Tzu is trying to communicate with us. And you can also see that he's doing his best to make it as easy as possible for everybody to figure out what he was trying to say. So now let's put the whole thing together, the whole line together, the Tao of longevity and lasting vision. It basically is a beautiful summary for the reason to cultivate the Tao. Why do I say that? Because ultimately, the Tao is about living well, not living indefinitely. Nobody ever promised that. But what Lao Tzu does say is that if you are living like this, it's going to be the best possible life that one can live. So overall, this means, number 1, cultivate health so you make the most of your life. You stick around. And you stick around not just for yourself, but also for all your loved ones, everybody around you. You know, there's a famous actor who was being interviewed, and the question from the host was, hey, I gotta ask you a question. What do you think happens when we die? Okay, what do you think happens when we die? On the face of it, you can imagine the question is aimed at, like, what is your belief on the afterlife? You think we go to heaven? You think we get reincarnated? Well, you know, what is it? What do you believe? This particular actor is wise beyond his years. So he thinks about it. He takes a moment. He takes time, doesn't rush into an answer. Then he says, I think what happens when we die is that we will be missed by the people who love us. So think about that for a moment. It's about what impression, what memories, what values you leave behind when the time comes. That is part of the meaning and the purpose of life. Now, what about before you get to that point? Well, before you get that point, you want to be healthy. You want to make the most of your time here so you can do as much good as you possibly can. And perhaps even more importantly, you want to have a good time. You should have a good time. Every day should be special and full of joy. And lastly, you want to create meaning for yourself and everyone around you. That is what it means. That is the reason for Tao cultivation. Now you see the progression, your progression to the Tao. Just to remind everybody, before we go to the summary, remember it begins with conservation. Conserve your energy and time and your attention span. It leads to submitting early. Listen, quit looking around. Get on the path of the Tao as soon as you possibly can. If you are not on it already, the best thing you can do for yourself is to get on it now. Number 3 from Lao Tzu. It means when you start walking the path, you're going to be accumulating virtues. And you begin to see how powerful that is when you can overcome anything. Then you realized that this means all the limitations you thought you had before, a lot of them just don't apply. You become unlimited. You possess spiritual sovereignty. You realize you can grasp the power, take the reins of power to determine your own spiritual destiny. How cool is that? Then you become everlasting. Remember, all of those different aspects of duration, lasting, influence beyond your years, all of those are included in being everlasting, being Tao-like, being congruent with the Tao was the way that I expressed. And this means putting down deep roots, firm foundation, establishing the Tao practice in your life, and helping others establish theirs. This eventually leads to the Tao of longevity and lasting vision. So this is the whole thing. This is the progression. This is the journey that you and I are on right now. And maybe today is the first day of that journey for many of us. If so, that's awesome. Let's keep walking together for some time. Our meeting has come to an end, but the journey continues on. Let us all travel safely so we can meet again. Until next time, may the Tao fill you with peace and happiness.